Hello and welcome. Live from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria, you're watching Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu, and today our focus will be on the southern region. But before we get into that, let's have a snippet of our top stories making the rounds at the moment. The trial of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, on alleged terrorism charges has been adjourned by Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja to October 16. The adjournment follows the failure of the Nigerian Medical Association to submit its medical report on Kanu's health condition to the court. At the previous sitting, Justice Omotosho had directed the NMA president to set up a medical board to assess Mr. Kanu's health and determine whether the medical facilities at the Department of State Services are adequate or if he should be moved to the National Hospital. The court also seeks to know whether Kanu is medically fit to continue his trial. During Monday's proceedings, counsel to the federal government informed the court that the medical board had not yet completed its report as earlier ordered. With no objection from Kanu's legal team, Justice Omotosho granted the request for an adjournment and fixed October 16 for the submission of the medical report. The World Bank has released this latest Nigeria development update titled From Policy to People, bringing the reform gains home. The report highlights Nigeria's recent economic reforms and the need to ensure that these policy gains directly improve the lives of citizens. According to the World Bank, Nigeria has made progress in stabilizing its economy through fiscal and monetary reforms. The report shows growth in key sectors such as services, agriculture, and non-oil industries, while also noting improvements in oil production and external reserves. However, it stresses that the benefits of these reforms have yet to reach many Nigerians. Mr. Verghese, while speaking at the launch, said the true measure of reform success is how it impacts ordinary Nigerians, especially the poor and vulnerable. The report projects that Nigeria's economy will expand by 3.9% in 2025, while inflation gradually easing over time. It recommends sustained fiscal discipline, investment in human capital, and the expansion of social protection programs to help families cope with economic challenges and benefit from ongoing reforms. We start off in Edo State, where the state government has announced plans to roll out in the coming days more packages to ensure the development of the education sector through the improvement of teachers' welfare and well-being, including the absorption of volunteer teachers. At different events held recently to celebrate the teachers, the Commissioner for Education in Edo State explains that the ceremony is to reward teachers in the state for their dedication. Our correspondent Jessica Olubushere reports.
Teachers from across Edo State take a break from their usual routine to focus on discourse around their welfare and the education sector development as part of the 2025 World Teachers' Day celebration.
The teachers occupy a very sensitive role in the heart of the governor.
The Commissioner for Education highlights initiatives the government is introducing to improve the teachers' welfare.
Come 25th of November, we are going to be rewarding some teachers for their selfless service to their doorstep. We are going to gather all of them at the festival hall in the government house and present letters to all of them.
The Teachers' Day celebration commenced a day before with a fitness day, which the government says is to become an annual event on 4th October.
Your welfare and your health is extremely important to us as a government of Edo State.
As regards their welfare, the government has increased implemented the minimum wage and increased it. So in this aspect, we're also looking at their health, their health related activities.
The teachers consider the exercise highly beneficial.
And this is a good opportunity for them to exercise themselves. Because if you exercise yourself, you find you becoming younger and younger every day.
This is my first time of seeing teachers have this kind of exercise, on Saturday compared to other professions before now. So I want to appreciate him very well for bringing us together and for making us work out.
The state government maintains that initiatives designed to improve teachers' welfare and the education sector will continue to receive attention. Jessica Luguse, Channels Television News.
Members of the National Assembly Joint Committee on Works are calling for a national emergency to be declared over the poor state of the Calabar-Itu Federal Highway in Cross River State. The lawmakers made this call during their working visits to Cross River State to inspect the ongoing Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and other federal road projects along the corridor.
The Calabar-Itu Federal Highway, once a major route for trade and travel between Cross River, Akwa Ibom and other parts of the south-south and southeast region of Nigeria, has become a source of frustration for motorists and commuters. Travel time has become longer than ever. For years, road users have faced endless hardship, from long traffic jams and frequent vehicle breakdowns to loss of goods and even lives due to accidents and flooding. Despite several contract awards and design changes, construction work remains painfully slow. Residents and drivers continue to cry out for urgent federal attention, describing the highway as a death trap.
This place is becoming a death trap, honestly. We dey there this side, sometimes we go there 2 days. The other day I there 2 days here. Today again, mass is morning, we are still here.
Cross River State is a tourist destination place. A lot of people will be coming into town. So the two governments should come in place, come together and work with the federal government so that we can have a lasting solution to this road.
Shortly after, lawmakers who visit the area experience the gridlock firsthand. They are trapped for hours and express shock at the terrible state of the road, calling it one of the worst they've ever seen.
But this is the worst I've seen. This is the worst I've seen. I've never seen something as terrible as this. We also need to question the capacity of some of the contractors on this line, on this stretch of road.
The senator representing Cross River South, Asukwo Ekpeyong, says there's been little visible progress on the projects despite federal commitments.
We brought this to the floor of the Senate, the emergency situation here. We went to work, we summoned the ministry, summoned the contractors. We put as much fire under the belly. But we're a year out now, and I'm not seeing significant progress. The truth is, there is no replication of an oversight visit.
The delegation assures residents of Cross River and Akwa Ibom states that the National Assembly will step up oversight to ensure the project is completed without further delay.
Staying in Cross River State, the state's government has commenced a comprehensive sensitization exercise across schools in the state to create awareness and ensure smooth implementation of its newly introduced education reforms. The sensitization campaign, led by officials from the Ministry of Education, aims to enlighten school administrators, teachers, and students on the objectives and benefits of the reforms, which are designed to improve the quality of teaching and learning in the state. Speaking during the flag-off of the program in Ogoja, the Commissioner for Education, Stephen Ode, stated that the reforms reflect Governor Otu's commitment to repositioning the education sector in line with global standards. For more on the state's education reforms, the Commissioner for Education, Mr. Stephen Ode, joins us from Calabar, the state's capital. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, sir. Now, we're just going to go right into it. Now, what are the key policy reforms recently introduced by the Cross River State government in the education sector, and how do they align with the state's broader development goals in the short and long term?
Well, thank you very much. Education sector is given priority in Cross River State by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Cross River State, Senator Bassey Edetutu, because we believe that education is the in and out of every development in this state. And therefore, we decided to come up with a lot of reforms. to address some of the challenges we note. One of them is a multiplicity of resumption or graduation ceremonies in our various schools. You agree with me that it has become a tradition that most schools will celebrate graduation from kindergarten 1 to 2 to 3, and so. And we say no, graduation shouldn't be on a termly basis or yearly basis. There are certificate classes that when a student like primary 6, junior secondary school exams, and then SS3, at that point you can celebrate. But a situation where students are compelled to pay graduation fee moving from one class to the other, we say no, that is a distraction. So we've decided to stop that so that the system can flow without distraction. Secondly, we came about the issue of organizing compulsory lessons for all students after 2 p.m. We say, look, there is a level student can stay in class, and you don't give them unnecessary mental fatigue. So we decided that, look, from 2 o'clock to 1 for juniors, for primary school, and then 8 o'clock to 2 p.m. is good for senior secondary school students. So at that point, when you teach a student, they will be able to assimilate. But anything beyond 2 o'clock, that means they will have mental fatigue. So we said, no, right now, you must end all lectures from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Let the children get home and rest, relax, and take their siesta and prepare for their assignment and all that. So that is also a new policy. 2 p.m., all schools in Cross River State shut down. But if you want to insist on lesson, that is at the discretion of the parents. And then secondly, adherence to the approved textbooks that is approved by the Ministry of Education. We have also discovered that most publishers will just drive into our school premises, negotiate with principals and head teachers of school, and introduce textbooks that are not recommended by the ministry. So, and at the same time, they are introducing workbook inside those textbooks. We said no. These are situations that we said we can no longer keep that. When textbooks are sold to students, when a child graduates from that class, the younger ones coming after that child should be able to make use of those textbooks. But the situation where you begin to introduce new textbook monthly or even termly or yearly, that situation is already, we have cancelled it in Cross River State.
Okay.
So you must adhere to the textbooks that are approved by the ministry. That is exactly what we are doing. And we also introduce anti-bullying committees or club in our schools. You know that students and pupils have become so used to taking these drugs. And then we say, look, let us select the young ones and begin to preach this gospel that, look, the value system must be upheld. And that is exactly why we also introduce anti-bullying and anti-drugs club in our schools. It is now compulsory in all our schools. So this is the way to go. That's what Cross River State is doing right.
Those are very, very fantastic steps to help the education sector. Now, moving forward, many stakeholders often raise concerns about infrastructure, funding, and teacher welfare. How is the ministry addressing these challenges while meeting the evolving demands of students, teachers, and parents?
Yes, of course. In Cross River State, we must say, especially thank His Excellency, the Governor of Cross River State, Senator Bayelsa, who has so much passion and commitment towards the development of education in Cross River State. For us, when we talk about accessibility to funds, we are highly funded. For instance, the Universal Basic Education Commission, in collaboration with the State Universal Basic Education in the state, we are far ahead of some states. We've been able to meet up with our counterpart funding. We have access fund with the Universal Basic Education Commission in Abuja. And that has brought about massive infrastructural development in the state. And of course, it's not just about infrastructural development that we are focusing. We're also focusing on the training and retraining of the teachers in the state. This is the only state that we have an institution, Teachers Continuous Training Institute, established principally to train teachers. We know very, very well that the best way to ensure that we have quality education in our state is to ensure that our teachers are properly trained. That's exactly what we are doing. We are also collaborating with the World Bank in terms of education, which the governor has made some funds available for. So very soon again, we embark on massive training of our teachers. So for infrastructural development, I think Cross River State, we are far ahead.
Wonderful. Now, looking ahead, what are the long-term plans of the ministry to sustain these reforms and ensure that Cross River State remains a model for educational excellence in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Most times people get worried that when you come up with good policies, implementation becomes a problem. For us, and of course, myself, who is responsible for looking at what happens in the entire education sector in the state. Today, as I speak to you, I just inaugurated task force on implementation of these policies. For the first time, all the local government areas have committee members that will go around. We have to carry stakeholders along. This is not only the responsibility of government to drive the process. So we decided to engage stakeholders like the National Parents Teachers Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, and of course our own staff from the ministry, local government education authorities, and zonal coordinators, so that at the end of the day, these policies that we fashion out, to ensure that all stakeholders comply. Within the local government, we have committees that will go around and see and let us know those who are not in compliance will be properly sanctioned. So for us, implementation, we are all set for it.
Okay, thank you very much. We've been speaking with the Commissioner for Education in Cross River State. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for having me too.
You're watching Newsroom series on Channels Television. Still ahead, we'll bring you an update on the police impounding vehicles over tinted permits in River State. That and more when we get back. Welcome back. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori of Delta State is inspecting key projects in the state's capital, Asaba, including the multi-billion naira flood control system and the ambitious Asaba waterfront development project. During the tour, Governor Oborevwori reaffirms his administration's commitment to sustainable urban renewal, better drainage systems, and inclusive development that will enhance the living conditions of residents and boost the city's aesthetics.
Infrastructure renewal and flood control remain key priorities for Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, who spends the week inspecting several ongoing projects in Asaba, a clear sign of his administration's commitment to sustainable development.
This is Willie.
The inspection begins with the multi-billion naira flood control project in Asaba, which the governor believes will permanently address the long-standing flooding challenges affecting the area and its surroundings. Governor Oborevwori also visits the massive stormwater drainage network stretching from Summit Road through several adjoining streets to the Amilimocha stream.
The contractor has promised that we'll finish on or before the scheduled date. All the storm work will be completed by end of this year, and by first quarter of next year, they will start to do all the asphalt work and all that. And definitely by March, we believe that they will finish this job. But I will tell you something about this sewage work contract.
Later in the week, the governor inspects the Asaba waterfront project, one of the administration's flagship urban renewal initiatives aimed at transforming the capital city.
Well, this place is completed. It looks like Eco-Atlantic, so it's something that we're all eager to see the end, whereby people will come and have a very beautiful property here.
Governor Oborevwori's regular inspection tours reinforce his administration's focus on infrastructure renewal, environmental protection, and improved urban living for residents of Delta State.
Contractors handling major road projects in River State are back on site as Governor Siminalayi Fubara resumes inspection of ongoing works. The governor's visit marks a renewed push to continue infrastructure development after activities were briefly suspended during the recent emergency period. Governor Fubara inspected the 19.7-kilometer Buguma-Abonema Road, which cuts across 3 local government areas in Calabar-Itu Kingdom, and the 9.7 kilometer Ogbakiri Road in Emoha local government area.
This project for us is very important because it's a project that connects the Ogbakiri people to the East-West Road with ease. So I'm here to assure the good people of Emoha and Ogbakiri people in particular, the chairman is here as a witness, that you can see that the contractor is back to site, that God willing, before the end of this year, by December, this project will be completed.
The Chinese consulate in Lagos is reaching out to widows and the needy in Rivers State with food support. The outreach, done in partnership with the Omega Power Foundation in Port Harcourt, brings together over 60 women who benefit from the items shared. The consulate explains that the gesture shows the strong friendship between China and Nigeria and is aimed at giving back to widows and the less privileged by making sure they have food on their tables.
They are already in River State, him, Mr. Shin. He's the general manager of the CCECC, the biggest Chinese construction company in Nigeria right now. He built a lot of buildings, road, and bridge, and do a lot of things for Nigeria. And we have the company here. We do in a warehouse, logistics, and we create a lot of position for employees. And we do a lot of things. And also, a lot of Chinese companies will come to River State and give a lot of opportunities for job.
In appreciation, the Omega Power Foundation thanked the Chinese consulates for the support and called it a welcome relief to those in need.
Oh, describe it as wonderful. You know, Chinese is a wonder. In fact, Chinese people are one of the best people to deal with. They are wonderful. They've seen what OPM is doing. They say, okay, we want to support. And that is why they decided to do the support. They are thinking about the less privileged, and now look at the things they brought. So I want to especially thank the government of China, the Federal Republic of China. Thank you very much for this great donation. It will go a long way to feed so many families.
Now to legal matters. The Bayelsa State Judiciary has officially opened its 2025-2026 legal year with the theme, Justice must be more than words. It must reach every local court in the creeks and cities. Governor Doyediri, who attended the ceremony, urged judges to uphold independence and integrity in their duties, noting that a nation's progress depends on the strength of its judicial system.
I have always said that there is nobody, no country that can grow beyond its level of education. And so, if we keep sending banters, keep insulting people, different arms of government, particularly the judiciary, that should be insulated, I don't think that we are doing ourselves any good. And so I appeal to us Nigerians, Bayelsans, to allow the judiciary to be used by God, to allow the judiciary to work to the best of their ability and their conscience, to deliver incorruptible judgments, to deliver sound judgments that will enhance the standard of living of our people.
The Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, Justice Matilda Ayemieye, reveals that the judiciary generated an increased revenue compared to the previous year.
We have been striving over the years to achieve our set objectives within the limits of our available human, financial, and material resources. It is humbling to note that Bayelsa State Judiciary is in many respects a reference point amongst other state judiciaries in Nigeria. So at the commencement of the past year, the total number of cases pending and brought forward was 2,191. Total number of cases filed within the year under review was 3,177, while the total number of cases disposed was 3,068. Pending cases at the end of the year stood at 2,300. From the foregoing statistics, the total number of cases filed and the number of cases disposed of within the year under review surpassed the preceding year. The difference is a testament of the dedication and commitment of our judicial officers and staff, arising from the motivation we are given by the grace of God. It is our desire, prayer, and hope that the figures will go higher in the year ahead.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has reassured Nigerians that its ongoing policies and reforms are focused on restoring price and monetary stability amid rising inflation and economic challenges. Speaking at the CBN Fair in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, the Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Mrs. Hakama Ali, reveals that the bank's efforts are already attracting more foreign investments and improving key economic indicators.
The management of the bank remains firmly committed to fostering productivity, enhancing financial inclusion, and maintaining monetary and price stability. These efforts are already yielding the much desired results, as evidenced by the steady decrease in inflation and current stability in the foreign exchange market.
The Uyo branch controller, Mrs. Njideka Nwabuku, reaffirmed the bank's commitment to supporting Akwa Ibom's economic growth through stakeholder engagement, financial literacy programs, and efficient service delivery.
Cascading and implementing policies, programs, and initiatives at the state and grassroots level. You know, Central Bank, the head office is in Abuja, but we need to be present in all the states, not just as channels to even ensure that financial services get to everybody, but also to drive policy implementation at the grassroots levels.
The River State Police Command has started impounding vehicles whose owners failed to present valid tinted glass permits. The Commissioner of Police, CP Olugbenga Adikpoju, gave the order as part of efforts to ensure compliance with regulations governing the use of tinted vehicle glasses in the state. And that's where we drop the anchor on this edition of Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Enjoy the rest of your day.